when we talk about the gut, I think a lot of people know, okay, for gut health, I look at the prebiotics and the probiotics, and then you brought up a new term, postbiotics. Can you actually just talk about all three so we can kind of have an understanding of how those all interact and what they mean to our overall health?
Sure. I think by now most people understand or at least have heard the term probiotics. And an easy way to explain them are they are the friendly bacteria that we need in our gut. And I call them gut buddies, and many people associate probiotics with, say, eating yogurt. Let's just use that as an example. Then there are prebiotics, and these essentially are fibers. They're non-digestible fibers. We can't eat them or break them down, that our probiotics, our gut buddies, want to eat. And one of the things I've told all my patients, you could take all the probiotics in the world, but if you don't give them prebiotics, their food, they're not going to grow. And I have a office in Palm Springs, and I use the example. Let's suppose I sold you grass seed here in Palm Springs, and you came back a month later and said, "You sold me bad grass seed. It didn't grow." And I said, "Well, what'd you do?" And they said, "Oh, well, I took it and threw it out in the yard with the sand in my yard." And I said, "Well, did you water it?" "No." "Did you fertilize it?" "No." "Well, of course it didn't grow." And it's the same way with probiotics. You've got to give them the things they like to eat. Now, the reason you want to do that is twofold. Number one, the more you give them to eat, the more they basically keep for themselves and grow little gut buddies. But more importantly, the science now of postbiotics is probably one of the most exciting fields in medicine and in health. So postbiotics are what I basically call are the bug's farts. They they eat the prebiotics and then they make compounds, most of which are gases, and some small short chain fatty acids like butyrate that are a communication system between our gut microbiome, between our good guys, and our brain cells, our mitochondria, and all of our cells. And there's actually what's called trans-kingdom language that's spoken between probably our most important organ there is, our gut microbiome, and all of our energy-producing organelles, the mitochondria. And it's so important that many people think that this discovery, and it's ongoing, is as important as breaking the Enigma code in World War II. And for those of history buffs, the Germans' code was nearly impossible to break. And we couldn't figure out what was going on. The Germans could go anywhere and no one would know how they were doing it. So breaking that code, breaking that language changed the war. And breaking this code, finding that there is a language that the microbiome talks to our cells is startling.